Hello! I got some music today, so hopefully you missed it as much as I did. My needle is so sticky. Still. I might have to use a different one. So, good evening. This is so different, isn't it? Doing it on Eastern time. Because all of the USA girlies and gents, okay, as we're not gender specific here, we're like all in the same time zone finally. Do you know what I mean? Because usually I do them like 8 o'clock, 8:15 my time in England. And now I'm in the States for the summer, so I always try and squeeze in 1 or 2 Stitchalongs so that we can have our time too. Right, so today we're going to do some weaving, and we've got 2 sections to weave on. They are here for the bottom basket, and then we also have these little flowers here. So I'm going to show you one of the flowers first, and then we're going to go down to the basket. Also notice I've changed my hoop. I've put this like a gingham kind of fabric in the background. Not that I didn't like that, but the more I started thinking about it, the more I thought it's going to be difficult to avoid all of those lines as I'm stitching. So I'll do it like this, and then I'll just finish the other one a different time, you know? So welcome. I'm just going to grab some colors. So I've got this one for the basket. I want like a kind of light colored basket, I think. I've also got this dark color, which would really kind of pop off, if you know what I mean. That's kind of all I've picked. I haven't really picked a lot of browns. This is kind of like the in-between, the go-between for that. So I might do this middle one, actually. And then I tried to put them on my dresser here in like color order so I could see where they are. Obviously, the basket could be any color you want, though. It doesn't have to be a brown color. And then we've got these 3 kind of roses. They're called woven wagon wheel roses. So you can kind of pick what you want from there. But I'm thinking this like dusty rose kind of color. And I'm thinking for mine, I'm going to do more like muted tones, like kind of that nice sage color. Maybe some like soft yellows. A small like peachy pink, something like that. You know what I mean? I feel like that goes really well with this right here. So first we're going to do the woven wagon wheel roses, and then we're going to do the basket. I kind of wish I had a different color of brown. Mom, if you are watching and you know any colors of brown between these 2, do you want to run up and go get them? Like a nice brown. I feel like that's what we need. But we'll see. We're going to do the wagon wheels first. So we've got time. Yeah? So let's hop to it. We're just going to see what we can do here. So for this one, I'm going to do the big one, and then you can do the 2 smaller ones on your own. Yeah? So I'm going to use all 6 strands for that. Got it here. I can hear her walking around, so I'm assuming she's gone off to look for something. We'll see. Right, so what you're going to need to do for this one is do a knot on the end. I know some people don't like to do knots, but you will need a knot for this one because we don't want our spokes to really go anywhere. And I like to start at the end on the outside and then work my way in for the spokes. And if anyone needs me to show how to thread a needle, I'm happy to do that, or make a knot, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know. I'm going to bypass it because I think most of the people that I've seen that have done the Stitchalong already know how to do it because I know that they've done my previous Stitchalongs. But if you think you need a bit more, you know what I mean, you just want to see it again, just let me know, okay? Also, if this is not very clear on your screen, or if you think the colors could be different, let me know too. So all we're doing right now is the spokes. I'm trying to make them as even as I can. I'm just doing nice straight stitches in and out like this. And we want to do 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one here will be our 7th. Try and make them as evenly spaced out as you can. But if some are a little bit closer, that's okay too. You don't have to have them like perfectly evenly spaced, okay? It just helps a little bit more if they are. So we just try our best to do that. Okay. Just trying to see if I can make this any brighter at all. On my screen, it's very dark. Let me just try and swap. Oh, no. Oh, maybe. I'll just leave it like that. Okay. And then what we're going to do is come up in between 2 of the spokes. It doesn't matter kind of which 2. And then from here, we're going to weave under, over, all the way around in a circle. So you might want to change to a blunt needle, or some people like to use the eye of their needle to go around and around and around. I never do, because I always end up pushing my finger on the pointy part. So I use the eye like this, and as I push it through, I always use one of my other fingers to kind of push it through, and then I always end up stabbing myself. So I'm just going to change to a blunt needle and just save myself some trouble. So really quickly about the woven wagon wheel roses. You can use any kind of number of spokes as long as they are odd numbered. So if you had even numbered ones, you would always go under and over the same spokes every single time. So you would never actually cover up any of your spokes. And that's kind of the point of going under, over, around in a circle, but alternating, yeah? And because they're in a circle like that, you hit the opposite ones each time. So sometimes you'll go over one and sometimes you'll go under one, and then the next row around, you'll go under and then over, and then over and then under. So you're actually kind of hiding the spokes as you go around. And that is good because it makes it look like a rose. You know what I mean? Like an actual twirly, whirly, twisty rose. Now this is one that I do not like. I found some colors you might be able to use. Yay! Come on in. Because I'm going to show that next. So we're just going to go all the way around and around and around until we fill it all up. I'm using all 6 strands as well because it makes it look quite fluffy. The smaller that you go, you might consider using less, only because sometimes it can look a bit like constipated. I don't know how else to say it. Crammed in, constricted, you know? It looks a bit like you've kind of shoved a bunch of stuff into like a little space. So just something to think about as you're doing your other ones. For this one, you might want to do just 4 strands and see how that looks. But you can see we've got 7 spokes for this one. This one has 5, and this one has 5 as well. So, I think I was told she brought every single one, and 1 pink, and 1 yellow, and 1 orange. Leave them there. Guys, she delivered. Look at this. Look at this. That one's definitely pink. I've got some oranges. I've got a yellow. That one looks green, but she's got such an array. Isn't she the best? And I've dropped one as well. So we'll just see which one works when we get there. But in her defense, it is really dark upstairs. Like there's no like natural light up there. So she's probably up there with her little cell phone flashlight. Do you know what I mean? Flashing it around, trying to like frantically grab all of the dark ones that she's got. So bless her. But yeah, as long as they are an even number. So if you find that this one here, as you finish it, you might have a little bit of overlapping. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute. She said yes. I know, I feel so bad. She also put Miles to bed tonight as well. So I got some time to work on the Christmas camp, and I'm actually thinking about doing like a snail mail club. I don't know. It might be stupid. I think I've told one other person. But I don't know. We'll see. And then I'm also thinking about doing like a kids snail mail club, because I used to be an art teacher, and I used to teach children kind of aged 4 until 18. And I mostly worked with kids 4 to kind of 12 to 14. So I've got a lot of art projects banked. And I'm just thinking I could do something with all that, you know? And now the snail mail is like becoming super popular. Have you heard of the snail mail clubs? Anyone? This is really wobbly. I'm gonna try and tape these down tomorrow. Because every time I move it, it moves. But yeah, I'm just wondering if you've heard of them before, and if you know anything about them at all. But the snail mail clubs are basically like things that you get in the mail, but they fit in a letter. So basically you pay for a stamp, the cost of a stamp. And then instead of like a postage box. And then you can get basically up to 100 grams of stuff before you have to pay for like the next size. So people are stuffing it with like a bunch of things, you know, like stickers and tutorials. I was thinking, they pop up on my feed all the time. Yes. Okay, so I feel like if I tell you all my ideas, then you're gonna be like, that's lame. But so think about for the kids one, okay? Because obviously I've got children. I was thinking I could do one that has a different kind of art project in it. So like a tutorial, a little letter, maybe like a sticker or like something like that pertaining to the project. And then maybe like a small art supply that pertains to it. So if we do like painting, I could do like watercolor dots, you know what I mean? Or if we did like, I don't know, something to do with fabric, I could put like some little fabric samples in. Could be super cute. I've got like a list of stuff to do as well. So like different projects. And then they like use things that are like around your house already. Thoughts? Okay. So you're not going out and buying like a bunch of different stuff. And then there'll be ideas to like make it a little bit more difficult if you've got an older kid, or make it a little bit easier if you've got a younger kid. Okay. So there we go. There's one idea. Time out quickly because I've finished my woven wagon wheel, and I just want to show you what I like to do to finish it off. Okay. And that is a little stem stitch. And what I like to do is I've got one spoke here, and then I've got one here. Where the humps are, that's where the spokes are. So we've got one here, one there, one there. Yeah. And what I like to do is kind of go to the next spoke and do a stem stitch all the way around. So I'm going to put it down like this, and then up at this spoke. I've switched back to my sharp needle, okay? Like that. Yes, yes, I'm getting there. Mom, stop ruining it for me. You're spoiling the surprise. I haven't even told my mom yet, actually, because we have been in, Ellis has decided she doesn't want to wear a diaper today, but she also doesn't want to go pee on the potty. So riddle me that and tell me how that works. Because I'm telling you right now, it did not work today. Don't say sorry. So questioning my life's choices a little bit, because Miles was super easy to potty train and Ellis is like, I'm not doing that, but I'm also not doing that. So super fun. Okay, I think we've got one more here. I'm just tucking this one in, and then after this, we're gonna have the very last one. Okay, this is where we started. And all I'm gonna do here is just tuck this in underneath. So tuck it kind of in at an angle. Like that. And that kind of rounds it off really nicely. It makes it so when you go to the side, you don't see any of the spokes around. You just kind of see the areas where I went down with my needle. Okay? Now this right here is where you can start to see where I said it might cut across as you're going around. So make sure if you've got 5 and if it's really, really, really cutting across as you're going round and round and round, you'll know exactly what I mean when you do it. It's one of those things where like you kind of have to do it to see what it's like. But if it starts to kind of cut across, that's kind of your sign that you probably needed more spokes. But you can always save it by doing a woven wagon wheel stem stitch outline, I guess you can call it. It's just a stem stitch outline around the woven wagon wheel. So go ahead and do the rest of the other 2 with your weaving. And now we're going to pop down to the brown with this one. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3 to do. And then we're also going to do the bottom part of this. Okay, so let me just turn this over. And we're going to snip. I really like this color pink though. I don't know where she got it. This looks like my handwriting. 1027. I like that. Where have I been in previous stitch-alongs when you did this? I don't know. You probably didn't watch that far because you already know how to do a woven wagon wheel. Like you've already done them like numerous times. So you probably just didn't. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm going to finish the kids one and then I'm going to go on to weaving. Okay. So where am I? Let me just zoom out for just a minute. There we go. Right. We need to find some rounds. So with the kids one, I would pre-record some tutorials about how to do each of the crafts, each of the art projects, you know. That is a nice one, but I don't know if I've got enough there. But how nice is that color? 840 it says. But also this one's quite nice. Bit dark, darker than this one, but oh, I want more of this one. That one's really nice. Well done. Nice eye. But you could do a more reddish brown. So this is where I'm talking about color theory and stuff. When you think about browns, there's normally kind of 3 groups of colors that make brown. And they are the Vikings, which is purple and yellow. Okay, that will make a brown. You've got Christmas, which is red and green. That will make a brown. Then you've got the Broncos, which is blue and orange. That will make a brown. Okay, so when you look at a color, you can kind of think, oh, it's got a bit more red in it, or if it's got a bit more orange in it, a bit more purple. These to me are skewing a little bit more like cool, like a purpley. And this one here next to it is showing more red or orange. Okay, so you can kind of see the difference in the tones of those colors. I don't know if you can, but I can, like, it's glaringly obvious to me. This one as well has more red in it, and I would say this one probably has a bit more orange in it. Okay, so you can kind of tell which, maybe this one has a bit more yellow. It's more like a golden color. Yeah, but the tone is different. So these ones are almost the same as far as like lightness and darkness, but they are different in terms of, what's the word, hue, I guess. Yeah, or undertones. Yeah, this one would be kind of more warm and this one would be more cool. So something to think about when you are putting your colors together is how they all relate to each other, and how they're going to look. This one might be a bit too dark, but I really like that other one. So I might just give it a go. And then the next time we go to Adrian, I might pop right in and see if I can find 840. Okay. The other thing that you can do if you're really trying to preserve your thread is use less strands. All right. So what I could do is use like 2 or 3 strands and then go back and use the other half or the rest of the strands for other parts. I'm going to use 3 for the spokes. So we're going to start with the spokes here, vertical spokes. I actually drew the spokes on, and then I'm actually going to let you pick how you want to do it, because you know I can't just do it all for you, okay? You have to do a little bit by yourself. Oh my gosh, this one's sticky too. Right, so what we're going to start with is vertical lines, yeah? Straight stitches, that's it. So it's very easy. And then we're going to go back and weave. You can either do every other one. So again, same as the woven wagon wheel, over 1, under 1, over 1, under 1. Or what I like is if you go over 2 and under, and then over 2 and under. I think that looks so, so nice. And obviously I don't have any examples to show you, so I'll have to just show you kind of as we're going along here what I mean. But let me do these stitches first, these straight stitches first, and then I'll go back with 6 strands and you can see kind of how it looks. Yeah. You can also do 2 rows of over, under, over, under. Let's start down here. It's a bit stabby, wasn't it? Okay, and then, so that will be the kids one. And then you get like fun things, like I said, like, oh, she's got her waves and raves that I can use. Okay, if you want to come slip it, bring it over and I'll show it, because that's a really good example actually, because you did a really good job on that. And then we'll talk about like the embroidery one or the painting one. I've got an idea for a painting one or one for a craft one. I've got a lot of ideas. I'm trying to figure out what I can actually do and what people would like, you know? Because part of me feels like I need to do something more than just embroidery. But then part of me doesn't. Give me the goods. You got a long thread here. Oh my gosh, she was just about to start stitching. Okay. But that's a good example. So what am I going to do when I don't have an assistant, when I go back to England and I haven't got an assistant and I'm like, oh, I forgot something. Will you just give me this? Right, then I've got an embroidery one. The embroidery one, I feel like it'd be cute. Okay, bear with me. A long time ago, I made these stitch, kind of like flashcards, okay? But they're for all the different stitches. I'm up to like 27, I think. I've written out how to do each one. So I've like typed it out. Then I've also drawn an illustration, like I've drawn a picture of how to do it. All right. And I haven't really known what to do with these. So my thought was every month you could get a different stitch card, like an index card, okay? Like a collect them all type situation. And then you could get a stick and stitch that you could use that stitch with. All right? Are you with me? And then like a little letter, and then maybe a small pattern or something that goes with it. So kind of like the pattern of the month, but like different. Yeah. or maybe like a sticker, or maybe like a piece of fabric that goes with it that you could put in a hoop and like do your embroidery. Or I could add some like needles or like just like little things. Do you know what I mean? It has to be under 100 grams. That's the only thing. So that's my embroidery one. And then I've got a painting one because I used to do a lot of painting, like a lot of painting. Actually, I've got a painting in this room. I've got painting all over my parents' house, to be honest, but I've got a painting in this room of the Eiffel Tower, and I think it's really good. But of course I would, because I did it, didn't I? I might do some of this one and some of this one, alternating. That would be really cute. But let me just show you this one, because I'm going to show you how to do the two, because I really like how this one is done. So she did her vertical lines like that, okay? And then she did two. So if you look closely, there's two threads that are both over and under. And then the next one is two that are both over and under the other way. Okay? So it makes it so that it's a little bit more of a texture, and it looks literally like a woven basket to me. So that's the one that I'm going to do. So it's two threads, 6 strands, but kind of two passes, if you know what I mean. So you're going to go over, under, and then over, under, and then the next one, you're going to go under, over, under, over, and then the next one, you're going to go back to the first way, okay? So, thank you very much. And I think what I might do is try and use some of this one and also some of this one, because how good would it be if it was like alternating colors, like stripes? So cute. All right, I'm going to start. You can start from the top or the bottom. Doesn't matter. It's completely up to you which one you feel the best doing. I often like to start right in the middle, okay? But that's just me. I don't know why. I feel like I can like fit a lot more in if I do it that way, but we'll just start on the edge and see how we go. So we're going to go under, over. Let me change my needle again. And when I say under, over, we're not going through the fabric at all anymore. So the back is going to continue to look like the back. And we're literally going to go over and then under, over, under, until you can't anymore. We started at 8. So that's when we did the rows. So you really haven't missed anything. You've come to the class now, don't worry. But we did the rows, literally we started at 8 tonight. So you're not behind. Don't worry. Okay, and then we're gonna go down on this side. Okay, and make sure this is down like as far as you want it to be. Then we're gonna come up. We're gonna do an outline on this as well. So don't worry if you're like, oh, that's a bit wonky. You're gonna come up right next to it, just kind of one stitch away. And you're gonna come back the same way, okay? So this one's over first. So we're gonna go over, under. This is why I like doing the middle first. I feel like I can do it a lot better if I do the middle first. I don't know why. I think it's psychological, because it looks exactly the same if you do it, no matter how you do it. But I think it's because when you do it right down the middle, it's like nice and straight and you're done. Whereas this one, you kind of have to keep pushing it down. Okay, so notice we've done 2 the same, over, under, over, under, over, under, all the way through to the end. I'm going to put this down. And then let's just see how this, Mel, you are a pro at woven wagon wheels, right? She's acting offended like we started without her and she doesn't know how to do it. I have done it with 12 strands. Sometimes they get a bit twisty though, and I find that it looks a little bit more nice and flat if you do them one by one. But obviously try both ways because you might get on better than I did with it. So yeah, this is not to say don't do it with 12. Try it. Do you know what I mean? And see, try it and see. See how you get on the best. Just popping in quick, the compressor went on our fridge this weekend. Got it fixed but lost. Oh, goodness. I'm so sorry. That is the worst. And you know what? I'm not being funny, but like, food costs so much. I would be so sad. Okay, so now this one, as we go by, we're going to do the opposite. Yeah? Let me zoom out just a little bit because I think it might be a little bit more sharp. I don't know. Okay, so now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to go under and over. But yeah, if you can get your threads to lay a little bit nicer than I did when I tried it, like definitely try that because then you wouldn't have to go forwards and back. You know what I mean? You could kind of like do it all at once instead of, and it would save you a bit of time. I'm all about saving a bit of time. Okay, and then the painting one, because I've been doing more painting lately, and David really wants me to do some more painting too. So I thought I could do like a print of a painting with a different theme every month. And then you could get like a piece of the painting. And then you can like look in the print and see what part of the painting you got. Do you know what I mean? And then, or you could get like a paint by number of different things. I love doing paint by numbers. I actually just bought one at Michael's the other day. You know, when you do the same way and you're like over, under, and then you look at it and you're like, no, that's wrong. But actually I'm doing it, to the same. So all you want to do is just continue pushing that down like that. Yeah, tighten it up a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to go back to the other one. Do we have any questions so far? Obviously, you can do this any way that you want to. You do not have to do it like I'm doing it. You might think, why are you making this so difficult? I'm really trying not to, but I feel like this looks like a picnic basket. You know? I just feel like it looks like such a good picnic basket. So, obviously you can do it the regular way. Just regular, over, under, next row, over, under. Do it that way. Like, you do not have to do it this crazy, adding stripes and like all this kind of thing. But it is one of those things where if you don't have enough of a color, you can always think of a different way to make it work. Please do not go out. I know that thread's not expensive, okay? It's not expensive at all. However, like, I once put $18 worth of grapes in my cart without even realizing it because I just thought, well, I'll just buy the bag. And then I was like, oh my God. Are those grapes $18? Why? they weren't even a lot, you know what I mean? Obviously I didn't buy them, but I just think, goodness gracious. By the time you get like 57 different colors for all the different things, like that's not the point, you know what I mean? We're trying to use what we have, and we're trying to be a little bit resourceful here. That's why I always say things like men's shirts, charity shops, like duvet covers, like flat sheets, like all of those things, they really can help, especially if you just need a bit of time for yourself. You know what I mean? You just want to relax a little bit. You just want to do, you know what I mean? You just need a little bit of stitching time. There's no reason to be spending like $50 on stuff if you can't afford it, you know? Be a little bit crafty. And then I had another idea. My last idea is like a different craft every month. And this was actually a really, I came up with this idea a long time ago. And it was going to be called a Girls' Night In. But I'm talking like years ago. So I wouldn't call it that now. But basically, like, things that you could do. It would be a video tutorial. Different one every month. And it's a different craft every month. So it wouldn't necessarily be embroidery. It would be all kinds of different things. Obviously, we would do an embroidery one because obviously. But we would have different stuff, you know, every month. Different things that you could do as like a girls' night. Yeah? So, let me know. Let me know what you think. Embroidery is cheaper than therapy. It's so true. So are stitch-alongs. I feel like we talk about a lot of stuff in stitch-alongs, you know? And then oftentimes I'll have people message me after the stitch-along and say, oh, thank you so much for saying X, Y, and Z or whatever. Because I really related to that. And like, oh, I loved it. Or like, I like, you know, what someone else said about this, that, or the other. And yeah, it's really, really nice. Especially for people who don't get to talk to adults a lot, you know? Okay, I think you guys kind of get the idea here. But I'm tempted now to try and fill the rest of it with the same color. So I've got 2 stripes at the bottom, and then the rest will be all one color. Yeah? Make it like a little feature. How cute would that be? I'm going to try and do that. Let me just make sure this is in the right spot. All I'm doing is just kind of pushing this down with my needle just to make sure that it's kind of down all the way. There's not any like really big gaps or anything like that. I'm going to do a knot on the back here. And then I'm going to continue with the same color. So I'll do 2 more passes and I'll let you kind of get on at home by yourself. I will say this is the only thing that we're doing. Oopsies. For this though, we've got these 3 roses at the top and oh no, too tight. Don't pull it too tight like I did. I might be able to fix it. And then we're just going to do the bottom of the basket. So don't do the handle. No. Don't do this part here. No. And don't do the outline. No. Just do the weaving part of the basket, okay? Because they relate to each other. Weaving. They're a kind of weaving. And then that's it for today. So it is a little bit of a lot, but it's basically the same thing, just different ways. Do you know what I mean? Straight and round. One is straight and one is round. This is going to be so cute. And let me tell you, I feel like the time just flies by when I do these because I just looked at the Yoto player and I'm already on track number 9 and I was like, what? How is that possible? Again, we're doing an outline, so please don't worry if you've got some weird things going on the edges or going on the bottom. If you feel like you can't get them down kind of as far as you want them to be, don't worry. We will be doing a outline. Or an outline, I should say. All right, I'm going to go this way and then that way, and then we're going to be done. Okay? And then we'll go and do something else tomorrow. Do a different part of the pattern tomorrow. Or at least some different stitches, you know? Where are we here? How cute is that gonna look? How nice. Okay, I'm just gonna zoom out and then you can kind of see what it looks like from far away. Please. I'm back. I'm back. Oh God. Oh Lord. The phone holder pushed the side button of my phone, which turned the screen off. Great. Okay, so you can kind of see how it looks when it's all zoomed out. Doesn't it look like a basket? Doesn't it look like a real basket? I swear it does. Maybe I'm just super gullible. But I think that looks so cute. So we're going to have the 2 lines on the bottom, and then the rest of this is going to be all the same color. Obviously, you can make yours different. Obviously, you can make yours the same as me. It's completely up to you what you want to do and how you want to do it. Don't feel any stress to buy any certain kind of colors, and don't feel any stress to have it all done by a certain time. All right? Come, have a good time, watch the stitching, complete it at your leisure. Okay? I really don't want this to become stressful. And this is one of the things that I normally say at the very beginning, but obviously I didn't remember on Monday because of the craziness. But yeah, if it's starting to stress you out, put it down and walk away. Okay? Because it's not meant to be stressful. It's meant to be the right amount of challenging, yes, or exciting, or, you know, having to use your brain a little bit, but it shouldn't be full on panic inducing. Okay. It should not give you anxiety. You should not be double thinking yourself. Like, you know, oh my gosh, like, what do I do? What do I do? So if you're having things like that, just stop, take a breath. And like, I say it with love. Okay. Because I've been there as well. You know what I mean? If I'm doing like the pattern of the month and I know I have to do it by a certain day and I'm just not getting any ideas and I just feel like I have to get it done. You're not going to do your best work, are you? You need to just take a breath and come back to it in a little bit. So if you find that you're doing that, just come back another day, okay? I will be here. The pattern will be here. Everyone will be here. And we'll be waiting when you're ready. So I will see you tomorrow for the next day of the Stitchalong. And yeah, enjoy. Tag me in your pictures and I will be sure to share. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, I showed my husband yours and I said, look how baskety that looks. He's probably like, what? How funny is that? But doesn't it look like a real basket though? I swear it does. So there you go. We'll see yours next, okay? All right. Bye.